Daniel was a man of quiet ambition, deeply in love with Sophia, a woman from one of the wealthiest families in the city. While Sophia saw the strength in his character and the brilliance of his dreams, her parents only saw a man they deemed unworthy, too poor, too ordinary for their daughter. Rejected outright and humiliated, Daniel didn't lash out. Instead, he channeled his pain into hard work, building the future he had always envisioned. Months later, he walked into a grand gala as a self-made millionaire, leaving the very people who scorned him speechless. His story is a powerful reminder that true worth lies not in wealth or status, but in determination, integrity, and perseverance. The extravagant gathering at the Beaumont family estate was a spectacle of wealth and status. Crystal chandeliers sparkled above, illuminating the grand hall filled with the hum of socialite conversations. Daniel, a young man with an unassuming demeanor, stood out sharply against the backdrop of opulence. His modest attire and quiet confidence made him an unlikely guest in this setting, yet he held his head high. For 2 years, Daniel and Sophia Beaumont had been deeply in love. Despite their vastly different social standings, their connection had flourished. Sophia was the cherished daughter of one of the wealthiest families in the city, while Daniel was viewed as a humble dreamer with no discernible wealth or status. When Daniel decided it was time to propose to Sophia, her parents invited him to dinner under the pretense of getting to know him better. But their true intention was to scrutinize him and, if necessary, discourage him from pursuing their daughter. As Daniel arrived at the grand estate, he was met by a butler whose practiced politeness barely masked his disdain. He was shown into the grand dining room, where Charles and Eleanor Beaumont sat with Sophia, their expressions carefully composed. Sophia smiled warmly at Daniel, but her parents' frosty demeanor was unmistakable. The dinner began with pleasantries, but the conversation soon turned to subtle jabs and probing questions. Charles leaned back in his chair, his tone dripping with condescension, as he asked Daniel about his profession. Daniel explained that he was an entrepreneur working on a startup that focused on sustainable energy solutions. Charles exchanged a glance with Eleanor, his skepticism clear. "A noble endeavor," he said, his words laced with sarcasm. "But surely you understand that such ventures often fail. What security can you offer my daughter?" Daniel met his gaze calmly. "Success isn't guaranteed, but I believe in hard work and innovation. My goals are not just about financial gain, but making a positive impact." Eleanor sipped her wine, her disapproval evident. "Ambition is admirable, but ambition without means is concerning." Sophia interjected, defending Daniel passionately, but her parents dismissed her. They made it clear that they believed Daniel was unworthy of her. After dinner, Charles took Daniel aside and bluntly stated that he would never approve of their relationship. He warned Daniel that without wealth or status, he would always be an outsider. Heartbroken but resolute, Daniel refused to give up. He and Sophia continued their relationship in secret, their bond growing stronger as they navigated the challenges her family imposed. Unbeknownst to the Beaumonts, Daniel's startup began to flourish. His innovations caught the attention of investors, and his company quickly grew into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Months later, the Beaumonts hosted a high-profile charity gala, inviting the city's elite. Daniel decided it was time to confront Sophia's parents and reveal the truth. With Sophia by his side, he entered the grand ballroom, dressed in a tailored suit that exuded quiet elegance. The room buzzed with whispers as guests recognized him, not as the humble man they had dismissed, but as the successful entrepreneur whose work was making headlines. Charles and Eleanor were visibly stunned when they saw Daniel. Charles approached him with forced politeness, trying to mask his surprise. "What brings you here, Daniel?" he asked, his tone measured. Daniel smiled, his confidence unshaken. "I was invited. As a major contributor to the charity tonight, I thought it would be a good opportunity to support a cause I believe in." Eleanor's composure faltered. "You're a contributor." Daniel nodded. "Yes, my company sponsored a significant portion of the event." He gestured to a banner, displaying his company's logo prominently. The realization hit them like a tidal wave. The man they had deemed unworthy was now a respected figure in their social circle, someone whose influence and success far surpassed their expectations. Sophia took Daniel's hand and addressed her parents directly. "You judged him without knowing his worth, assuming that wealth was the only measure of a person. Daniel has shown you that true value lies in character, determination, and kindness." Charles and Eleanor were left speechless as Daniel continued to mingle with the guests, earning their admiration and respect. The Beaumonts' attitude toward him shifted, but Daniel remained grounded. In the end, Daniel and Sophia built a life together, founded on love, understanding, and mutual respect, a partnership that transcended societal expectations and shallow judgments. Sophia's choice to stand by Daniel through the storm not only solidified their bond, but also revealed the depth of her character. She had chosen love over luxury, heart over appearances, and in doing so, proved to her parents and society that true happiness is built on the foundation of genuine connection, not superficial standards. Their journey didn't just transform their lives, it became an inspiration for others. Friends, colleagues, and even strangers who heard their story found themselves re-evaluating their own values, questioning the stereotypes and biases they might unconsciously harbor. Daniel's success was more than financial. It was a moral victory that underscored the value of perseverance, humility, and vision. The Beaumonts, once rigid and unyielding in their judgment, found themselves re-evaluating their priorities. While it wasn't an instant transformation, they slowly began to recognize the flaws in their perspectives. By watching Daniel succeed and treat them with grace rather than bitterness, they saw the power of forgiveness and the importance of character over material wealth. Daniel and Sophia's life together became a beacon of hope and a reminder that love, resilience, and kindness could bridge the deepest divides. Their story stood as a powerful testament to the idea that true worth cannot be defined by wealth or status, but by the strength of one's character and the courage to pursue what truly matters. She chose a path less traveled, one paved with authenticity and sacrifice, but ultimately rewarding in ways money could never provide. Their union didn't just bridge the gap between them, but also became a bridge for others who looked up to them. Communities around them learned to see beyond material success and began to value qualities like perseverance, humility, and love. Over time, even Sophia's parents, the Beaumonts, began to change. Witnessing their daughter's happiness and Daniel's integrity, they slowly shed their rigid prejudices, realizing that life's true treasures aren't measured in currency, but in character and compassion. Daniel and Sophia's journey became a legacy, a story that reminded everyone that no matter how deep the divides, the strength of character and the courage to fight for love could overcome anything.